You know when people say, like, the world needs more love?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, how do we solve the world's problems?
Sure.
Okay, love.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everyone says, right? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
if there
seen
was just
that.
more
Yeah,
love in the world,
yeah.
right? If there's more love in the world, there'd be a more peaceful place. Okay. How many people know what love is? That's really
Mm-hmm.
what I'm seeing the gap being. It's like you could say that, but your definition of love is different from somebody else's definition of love, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I think you have to
Or
define
there's
what
like
it is.
superficial,
Right.
right? So when you say like all the world needs is more love, then what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Because like, is it like passionate love? Is it a love that you want to control? Is it like what kind of love are we talking about? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm going to ask you, what is your definition of love?
I think it depends on the context. Right.
So okay, yeah, go ahead. So what
So
would some
if you're
definitions be?
if you're saying for the world thing, I just think that just means respect and tolerance kind of thing.
Okay, respect and tolerance. Okay, yeah,
Right. Um,
yeah,
like that, if that's what we're talking about, right? Like
yeah,
what?
yeah. No, totally, totally. Like, what are the potentials for love? Like, I'll give you my definition after. I'm just like, what are some obvious potential answers for what love is?
Obvious potential answers.
Like, what could somebody
Well,
say
like as he's
as far as what love
saying,
is?
like the way you love your family. Like is that what you're saying? How much we should like represent
Maybe,
others,
like,
respecting
yeah,
others like
like
that.
you should love everything about them. Is that what they're saying? You
Yeah.
know, like I'm just saying, like, what could this statement mean
Mm-hmm.
of like the world just needs more love?
Right.
Okay, so a spiritual, like the most common explanation, or like the best explanation for love, is like a flower. If you love a flower, you don't pick it, because if you pick the flower, it'll die,
Right.
right? But if you love the flower, you'll let the flower be itself, and you'll just appreciate the flower from afar. You're not trying to control the flower. You're not trying to
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Because that's what love is, right? That's a great explanation for what love is, using the flower analogy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a very spiritual answer. Okay, so then my question is, doesn't that mean we just have to accept the bad in people as well?
Mm-hmm.
So if the world needs more love, if you're telling me the world needs more love, so then shouldn't you appreciate Putin? Shouldn't you appreciate Hitler for their tendencies? Shouldn't you like, don't try and pick that flower,
Right.
bro?
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if that's what you really mean, then you're not following your own definition.
Right.
Like that's a Taoist viewpoint. Like
Mm-hmm.
Taoism is all about like life is already perfect. It's just the mind that makes it not perfect. You know. So if we are talking about like true love, you just appreciate it from afar and you let that flower do what it's gonna do, or else it'll die,
Right.
right? Or what do you really want is, do you want a totalitarian government in order to control everything? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really want love in this world, or do you really want your idea of control? Because you can't have both.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm thinking about with those like hippie style people, those new age people that are like, the world just needs more love. Like, not really. The world needs totalitarian control, according to what you believe,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's like we need to share resources. Well, what if this guy doesn't want to share his resources?
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think that's just.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's ironic. You saying that is just ironic, because if the world really need more love, then you just let it be. The world's gonna world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's you who wants the change in a specific direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should all share our things. We should all like you know, hold hands and sing songs.
But
You know
I
what I'm trying
think,
to say?
yeah,
And it's like,
I see what you're saying, but again, it's like these are people part of the world, right? It's never gonna go one way. These are all. It's
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
totally,
pendulum
yeah.
thing. It's like whatever's happening in current society. That's why it's being said. So it'll help push it
Mhm.
in a certain direction, and then eventually it'll go the other direction. It's like this is
No,
just
totally, totally, totally.
part of society,
For,
right?
for sure, for sure. But what I'm saying is like those people that use that line are just using platitudes.
Hmm.
It has no meaning at all. You're just saying something that you think is worth saying. It's no
Right?
different than the
Yeah.
guy that with an agenda for Elon Musk.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know what? What I
Yeah.
think the whole theme of this podcast has been is most people don't examine their own ideas. You know,
Hmm.
like they just say what's being said rather than asking, why am I saying the thing
Right.
in the first place?
Hmm.
And do I agree with what I'm saying? Because we all want to be accepted.
Yeah. Right. And are these my real thoughts on this, or am I following something?
That's
Yeah.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And if you are just following someone, well, then AI is going to take over, bro,
Hmm.
because AI is just going to make you think that everyone agrees
Right.
with your thing.
Hmm.